All right, y'all, what's going on? Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me clearly. Everything looking nice. Look at this, y'all. Today, so this weather, either this is a fake out or this weather is going to be looking real good this week. Over in my neck of the woods, it got up to 67 degrees today. That's more my speed, right? Well, we getting there. More my speed is somewhere in the 90s, right? We like it hot, sunny. But hey, look, I'll take 60 plus. I'll take it. We got some ones in the chat. Y'all can hear me clearly. There we go. We got a good one tonight. We got a good, very important conversation today. We'll talk about, right? Safi, what's going on? Good to see you in here. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. We got Cali Girl in here. What's going on? Good to see you here. I'm here for this topic. That's exactly what I needed to hear about this week. I finally got back on my intermittent fasting. Day 7. Oh, wait a minute. You 7 days in? There we go. Okay, there we go. All right. All right. All right. Question: how much soluble and insoluble fiber should we aim for on a daily basis? I mean, that question is going to be that's going to vary pretty greatly depending on your body composition, height and weight, body fat mass, lean mass, your goals, eating schedules. It's a lot of things is going to vary, right? So that number can be anywhere from like 50 grams of fiber a day to like 110. It depends on how raw your diet is. It depends on how frequently you're eating, whether you're trying to gain weight, lose weight, all that different type of stuff, right? So you're probably going to fall somewhere in the middle of the range. So probably anywhere from maybe, let's say 70, 75 grams or something like this between the two. But it's kind of difficult to have like a goal of soluble versus insoluble fiber. It's kind of a package deal, right? You get a mix of both. All right. All right. E-Dub, what's going on? Good to see you. And hey, y'all, this is on time. I'm about to do a 3-day water only fast. You're going to have to reach out to me. We got to see. You got to check in with me. We got to see why you're doing that. You're going to have to check in. We got to see what's going on with them 3 days. What's the goal behind that? You said high vibe likes tropical weather. Yeah, look. When you got the vibrant greens and blues and violets, nice sun exposure, you know what I'm saying? Good breeze. I like that. I don't like weather where I gotta wear a bunch of clothes. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Can I still grow if I go vegan at 15? Why would you not be able to? You should be able to, right? You grow real nicely too, going plant-based at 15. Absolutely. You want to talk about maxing out your genes? Tell you something. You want to talk about having real good gut health and all that type of stuff? Absolutely. I need to move from Virginia. What's going on in Virginia? Virginia got some whack weather. The weather's out there is whack. Got to come to Panama for the... Yeah, true. Big shout out to you over there in Panama doing the damn thing. Thoughts on LASIK eye surgery? I don't know. I don't have strong thoughts on it, right? If I do give my opinions on it, it would be from a place of pretty steep ignorance because I don't really have the language to speak on optometry. You know, I have like weird fears. Like for me, right? I have astigmatism. So like, I have astigmatism in my left eye. So my left eye is shaped weird on the inside. Shaped like a football. So it distorts the focus in both my eyes because of that. Because one, it's like I'm seeing through two different eyes and it's blurring the... So anyways, so basically, I only wear my glasses when I'm reading or sitting at the laptop, but like when I'm out and about or whatever the case is, I don't really wear my glasses. Right? So yeah. So would I benefit from LASIK? Possibly. Maybe. I don't know how it works for stigmatisms and things like that. What are the risks? Mess around, a laser blind you in your eye? I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. So I got to stay in my lane on that one. London weather at the moment isn't the one. Oh, London weather, man. Let me tell you. I plan on living my whole entire life not going to London. Much love to y'all over out there in London, though. I'm looking jacked. He said, "You're looking jacked, my dude." Just goes to show that you can be vegan and healthy and jacked. True. And I eat like I got health problems. I'm pretty like the way I eat. Let me tell you, I got my juicing in today. I had my oat pudding today. And it was good. I drank like 64 ounces of juice today. I had 32 ounces of cantaloupe juice. I juiced a whole cantaloupe. And then I juiced like 14 ounces of pineapple, 15 ounces of grapefruit, 8 ounces of grapes, like 6 ounces of tangerines. What else did I juice? I think that was it. Yeah, so that was good. That was good. I'm really enjoying this juicer I got. I like juicing. I'm become a fan of it more and more, right, by the day. I appreciate that. I really, really appreciate you. I appreciate you back. Big shout out to you. So we got to talk about fasting today, right? I'm a big proponent of fasting. Fasting is amazing. So, you know, fasting, it's a real convenience for your life. I'm a big fan of like alternate day fasting, right? I don't really do intermittent fasting. I'm a big fan of alternate day fasting. So, for example, you have a full day of eating followed by like a 24 or 36-hour fast, and then follow that up with a full day of eating. Right? Big fan of that. I take breaks from it here and there, and then I get back on my 24-hour alternate day fast. Right? So I really, I spent like a few weeks eating every day and eating in abundance. And it's very interesting, right? Because the last time I did the alternate day fasting and I dropped down to like 154 pounds or something like this, right? And then I started eating normally, eating in abundance, and I got back up to like 158 pounds, right? I did 2 24-hour fasts last week and I'm back down to 152. Right? It happens real quick. Just get like a good detox, right? So yeah, giving my gut a break, really emptied out my colon and all of this type of stuff. And fasting, you know, it's good for weight loss. It's good for reversing chronic illnesses, improving gut health, all types of stuff. But it depends on how you do the fast, what you do on your fasting days and things like that, right? And when it comes to water fasting, there's 2 main approaches that you can do. And they fall in the category of a soft fast or a hard fast, right? Those are the 2. And it can be on a spectrum. So some fasts can be softer or harder than others. It really depends. What's the difference between the 2? Soft fast is an easier fast. It's a fast that's more sustainable long term. And it's something that you can do in a more prolonged period of time. You don't really have to worry about much downside from it. A soft fast is really not that much downside from a soft fast at all, really, to be quite honest. And then you have a hard fast. And a hard fast is probably where the most risk is, but the most reward is, right? A hard fast, it can either be really beneficial for you and yield you really good results, or it can kind of mess you up and set you back a little bit. That's the thing. It's a bit of a gamble, right? So why wouldn't you just stick with the soft fast instead of do a hard fast? Well, a soft fast is basically where even during the fast, you're still getting forms of nutrients in. So you can still supplement with different vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and amino acids and things like that during the fast. You're just not eating food, right? And the reason why this softens up the fast is because, you know, like let's say if you supplement with something like glutamine, or you get a high enough dosage of malic acid or something like that from like citrulline malate or magnesium malate or something like this, it could inhibit or cut off autophagy, right? So glycine can cut off autophagy, right? And autophagy basically is one of the biggest healing mechanisms of a fast, right? And autophagy is basically a state of where your body is breaking down old and dead and damaged materials and clearing waste from your body. So you can get like these zombie cells that float around in your body and rob your other cells of important nutrients and whatnot, right? It can disrupt the molecular structure of your other healthier cells. And so basically in autophagy, your body clears out all these waste products and old and dead and damaged cells and these zombie cells, right? So basically, you know, you take a probiotic, you take a, you know, glutamine, you take glycine, something like this. It can inhibit that, or it can reduce the time it takes for you to get into autophagy, right? It can, it may not necessarily, but it can. Whereas a hard fast, well, basically it's just water and herbs, essentially. Or maybe even just water and no herbs. I don't really recommend that most of the time, just because, I mean, when you're even cutting out the herbs, you can run into electrolyte issues. It can get a bit dicey, right? So I'm all about, harm reduction. I don't want to take any needless risks, at least when I coach people and things like that. So those are the difference between the two, right? If you have cancer, you're battling cancer, or, some type of autoimmune disorder, or a gut health issue or something like this, right? You may want to do a hard fast in order to maximize autophagy, right? Let's say you got to clear excess waste and acid out of your body, right? In order to reverse like arthritis or something like that. You may want to engage in autophagy, right? Or there's like a hormonal issue that you really want to balance out. Maybe like, let's say you want to reverse diabetes, like you want to reverse insulin resistance. You may want to do a hard fast, right? And that can significantly improve your liver health, your kidney health, and this type of thing, right? A hard fast can be very beneficial for that. If you have, let's say, atherosclerotic plaque buildup or calcification in arteries, you may want to do a hard fast to really clear that out. Okay. If you have like certain mental health issues or brain chemistry issues that you have to sort out, you may want to do more of a hard fast, right? But of leveraging herbs and things of this nature, right? You may want to do that. Big time reward, right? If you really stretch that autophagy, is very, very big benefit. So you go, okay, well, let's start with the soft fast. Now, what would you do on a soft fast? Let's say you do a soft fast. Let's say that soft fast is 36 hours. You're doing a 36-hour soft fast. There's like a few big drinks that you can have throughout a soft fast, right? Here's one option. Let's say you wake up first thing in the morning and you drink. Let's say you wake up first thing in the morning and you drink, let's say 32 ounces of water, and you put in, let's say 2 to 4 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons of liquid chlorophyll, and you do 1 teaspoon of matcha powder, and you do 2 grams of taurine, and 1 gram and 1 scoop, which would be like 2 grams of magnesium malate. Put that in that water, right? It's a lot of things to put in that drink. And why would you do that? Well, the liquid chlorophyll basically acts as a detoxification mechanism, right? So chlorophyll comes from plant. It comes from like leafy green vegetables and things like that. It's what gives them the green pigment. And so basically this is going to be something that's more copper and magnesium based, right? And so basically this chlorophyll helps to actually pull toxins or waste products out of your cells. This could be very beneficial if you have like body odor issues, right? You got some weird body odor issues, maybe bad breath, whatever the case is, halitosis, T-mal, whatever the case is. With issues like that, it would be a good idea to engage in something like a soft fast. So you do that liquid chlorophyll, and that can help really purge all kind of toxins. And then you have the taurine. Taurine is a good amino acid that's really good for repairing nerves. So this is good for nerve damage. This is good for repairing cardiovascular tissues, blood vessels. Taurine is really good for that, right? So if you need to recover from nerve damage, you need to recover from vascular damage, varicose veins, this type of thing. Taurine can be really, really good for that. Taurine is good for brain chemistry, mental health, mental alertness, learning capability, right? Neuroplasticity, all of this type of stuff. And it's really important for recovering your central nervous system from, let's say, if you're doing intense resistance training or weightlifting, it's very taxing on your central nervous system. So taurine helps with the recovery of that and the generation of new neural pathways. Then you got something like magnesium malate. And magnesium malate basically is a combination of magnesium and malic acid together. Right? Now, in order to maximize magnesium absorption in a supplementation form, that mineral needs to be chelated or bound to an organic substance like a vitamin or an amino acid, right? So that amino acid being malic acid. The magnesium is really important because that's going to be where you get a lot of your electrolytes for the day. So starting the day with that magnesium reduces the likelihood of you feeling run down and fatigued and getting headaches and low blood pressure and all this type of stuff later on in the day. Right? Magnesium is a really important electrolyte, right, or just mineral in general that's needed in order to maintain blood sugar, blood pressure, mental alertness, oxygen absorption, all this, right? Magnesium is involved in every single biological process in the human body, right? So there's that. And then we've got matcha. Now, matcha is like a type of green tea. Gives you a little bit of a hit of caffeine, but not anything crazy. And it's also loaded with antioxidants and things like that. That's really good to bring down inflammation, right? Matcha is awesome. It's like a green tea, right? It slows down and can even reverse aging by protecting your cells with an abundance of antioxidants, this type of thing, right? So you put all of that in this drink. It's like 32 ounces. You can even do 64 ounces if you want. I think 32 is enough. And you can actually do a drink like this twice a day. You don't have to, but you could, right? So let's say you do that drink. And then you do like you drink that, and then you do like your daily mobility and stuff like that, right? You go for, you go for a walk after you do your daily mobility, so you really loosen up your lower back, your glutes, hamstrings, quadriceps, all of that. Open up your lats and everything. Pick your heart rate up a little bit, get into your body, and then go for a walk. And you walk like you're 4 to 6 miles, right? You come back from your 4 to 6 miles. Now you need to settle out of your body and maybe get to work. So you got to get into your head, right, with a clear mind. You can follow up with the next drink that would be something like a burdock root tea. That could be like another 32 ounces of water with burdock root. Burdock root is a blood cleanser. It's a natural herb, root in particular. And this is really good for your liver, blood cleanser, kidney health, helps with blood pressure, blood sugar, also contains electrolytes so that you retain as much of your electrolytes through the day as possible. And electrolyte retention is really important during a fast because if your electrolytes are depleted during a fast, well, then you can feel lightheaded, nauseous, dizzy, headaches, things like this. You can feel really tired, and just it could be a really rough fast if your electrolytes are too low. So basically what you could do is, let's say you get a tea kettle, you fill it with about, 32 ounces of water or so. And you let that water boil. And then when the water comes to a boil, you take the kettle off of the heat. Let the water cool off a little bit. You can add in either a tea bag or a tea steeper, where you put about 5, maybe 6 teaspoons of burdock root in the tea bag or the tea steeper. You drop that in the water and you let it steep, right? And you let it steep for a few minutes, because when you pour the water out into whatever you're going to drink it out of, the water should be like a deep brown, right? Like a deep golden brown. It's a beautiful color, right? And that's how you know that the contents of the herbs have saturated the water. All right. And just to make sure that you're getting all that goodness, right? When you pour all of the tea into the whatever container you're going to drink it out of, you can take the tea bag or the tea steeper and put that in the drink also, right? So you can get that little extra bit of that burdock essence, right? And you can drink that throughout your workday. Okay. So in between these two drinks, there's already like 64 ounces of water, where 1 gallon is like, what, 128 ounces? Is that about right? Is 1 gallon 128 ounces? Do I have that right? Somebody let me know if that's not true. Let me double check, actually. Let me get my measurements wrong sometimes. Yeah, 128. Okay. All right. Gotta make sure. I don't like getting stuff wrong. So that's a half a gallon right there between the two. If you wanted to do a second drink, what would the second drink be? Depends on your state of being, right? The second drink can be, let's say, another 32 ounces of water with, let's say, 1 or 2 ounces of lime juice. And then you can do, let's say, a pinch of sea salt. And then 5 to 10 grams of glutamine. All right? Glutamine is an amino acid that's actually really beneficial for muscle recovery and growth, the maintenance and protection of your digestive tract, your gut lining. Right? Glutamine helps to repair and maintain your gut-blood barrier, right? Your intestinal endothelium. So glutamine is really important for that. So basically, glutamine is just phenomenal. I mean, you can take it even if you don't have any gut health issues. If you're trying to build muscle, if you're trying to rebuild your gut, if you're trying to get better sleep quality, better recovery, if you're trying to get better mental health, glutamine contributes to all of those things. Absolutely phenomenal. All right. By the way, there's an amino acid that I mentioned, chelated to magnesium. I talked about what the magnesium does, but the malic acid. Malic acid is really important for the maintenance and protection and rebuilding of vital organ tissues. So malic acid is really important, for example, for maintaining intestinal health. Right? So the tissues of your lungs, your heart, your vascular tissues, your gut wall, all that type of stuff. Right? So malic acid is really good for that. Malic acid is also really good for clearing acid out of your body as well. So it has a detoxifying effect. So acid can be pulled out of your cells, into your bloodstreams, and shipped out of your body through your lymphatic system and out through your urine as it passes through your kidneys. Right? So basically, yeah. So going back to that third drink, which would be the water with the lime juice and the 5 to 10 grams of glutamine. Now, the glutamine doesn't have a taste. The taurine doesn't have a taste. The magnesium malate doesn't have a taste. All these supplements mainly don't have a taste. The only things that have a taste are the herbs, right? We can't really get unflavored herbs because, well, they're flavored by nature, right? And I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. Everything that I just mentioned is really big for blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, hormonal balance, kidney health, liver health, all this. So the fast is beneficial, but then also the things that you're putting in your drinks are really beneficial, right? So that's the third drink. About a fourth. Now we're completing the gallon at this point. So the fourth can be either the liquid chlorophyll again, right? Or it could be, let's say, cinnamon tea. Maybe you do 24 ounces of water, hot water, and within that you put, let's say, a teaspoon of cinnamon. All right? And what you can do is you can do cinnamon and then do a dropper of liquid stevia if you wanted to add some sweetness to it. Okay, if you wanted to. You don't have to, but you know. So the cinnamon is actually really good for blood sugar control, blood pressure, helps in balancing out and regulating your cholesterol, right? So helping in improving HDL and LDL, right? Where you may want to increase HDL and reduce LDL, for example. Cinnamon is antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral. So it's really good at protecting against viruses, all right? So that's a big deal. So you may want to have that cinnamon tea, basically. And you can essentially prep that in the same way that you prep the burdock root, except you don't need a tea bag or a tea steeper if you have cinnamon powder, like a Ceylon cinnamon. You just drop the teaspoon right in the water. Right? And the final drink, it can be a few things. Maybe the final drink, let's say the final drink, it would be right before you go to bed. And right before you go to bed, you want a deep, restful sleep. So you may want to do chamomile. Chamomile tea. You don't want to drink a whole lot of water before bed because you'll be waking up in the middle of the night urinating all the time. So that drink could probably just be like 8 ounces, something like that, right? Like an actual teacup of chamomile tea. Chamomile tea is a great tea. It's like a relaxing thing. It's really beneficial for that. It also has benefits for kidney health and detoxification. So chamomile is a good sleep aid. Another one could be ashwagandha, right? Ashwagandha is heavy. It's a real big sleep aid. So that's a good one too. Some people have adverse reactions to it. So for example, some people, they drink the ashwagandha and they sleep too hard to the point where they wake up the next morning, they could be kind of groggy, right? So it can knock you out a bit too hard. So the chamomile is a bit lighter. Okay. Another sleep aid is valerian root. That could be another one, right? Some people don't really feel anything from it. Some people, they do feel something from it. So it really depends, right? It's kind of trial and error depending on, from person to person. The third option is where you drink magnesium glycinate. So you do, let's say, not a whole lot of water, 8 ounces, maybe 6 ounces of water with a scoop of magnesium glycinate or magnesium biglycinate. Right? And then if you want to compound the effects of the magnesium to make the sleep aid effect even stronger, you can supplement with zinc picolinate. You can do about like 15 milligrams or so. If you're a man, you can do even higher, like 30 milligrams. But then again, this is a fast, so you can even do 30 milligrams of zinc picolinate as a woman also, right? So there's an option there, right? So magnesium and zinc together are a powerful sleep aid. And then the glycine also, and it has protective benefits for liver health and all that. Magnesium is beneficial for liver health and kidney health, so is the glycine. And then the zinc is very good for things like, sex hormone regulation, testosterone improvements, right? This type of thing. Zinc is also really important for the maintenance of the insulin-producing beta cells in your pancreas. So zinc is a really important mineral for improving and maintaining insulin sensitivity. All right, so there's that. If you're low on vitamin D3 or low on vitamin D, you may want to supplement with vitamin D during your fast. Now, you can do 5,000 to 10,000 IUs of vitamin D supplementation in the morning with that first drink, right? If you're going to you can do 10,000 IUs of vitamin D3. If, let's say, you're struggling with blood pressure, you're struggling with blood sugar, it's very difficult for you to drop body fat, and you are a melanated person of, a deep pigmentation, right? So for my folks of African ancestry, right, my melanated folks, that's an important one for you, vitamin D, right? That's at the root of your health, period. So, you can do some pretty decent dosages of vitamin D3. I usually recommend 5,000, but you can also do even upwards of 10,000 IUs and not really have any negative drawbacks from it if you pair it with the adequate level of magnesium supplementation. Because, in order for your body to use vitamin D, well, magnesium is the currency, right? It's your body taxes in magnesium. It taxes your magnesium stores for that vitamin D, right? So you got to make sure those levels are up. So if you're going to do a high dose of vitamin D and you don't pair it with magnesium, well, over time you could run into some issues with that. You can actually drive yourself into a magnesium deficiency with the high dosages of vitamin D without the supplementation of the magnesium. All right. So that's like an example of a soft fast. And that would be really good for improving blood flow, gut health, brain chemistry. That can lift you out of depression, anxiety, all types of stuff. Weight loss, you name it. Then there's the hard fast. What do we do in the hard fast? There's a few things that you can do in a hard fast, and it's going to be water, herbs, and like a pinch of sea salt for electrolytes. Everything else pretty much is off the table if you're going to do a hard fast. So this is where you may want to have, like, let's say during a hard fast, you get a 64-ounce jar or 64-ounce whatever you drink out of, right? But it's like basically half gallon. And you can do, like, let's say matcha. So you do the water and the matcha, right? Let's say first thing in the morning. And you can do, maybe you need something a little bit stronger. So you do 2 teaspoons of the matcha powder in the water. 2 teaspoons of matcha is pretty strong. However, it's diluted across 64 ounces. So it's not really that big of a deal, right? So you do 2 teaspoons of the matcha powder in the water. Now this water is going to be a little bitter, so you can even, if you really want to change the taste of it, you can add, let's say, a few tablespoons of lime juice to it as well. All right, and maybe the tanginess of that will kind of even it out a little bit. You can also add a couple drops of peppermint oil. So you can do that as well. However, if it's a hard fast, the peppermint oil could kind of soften the fast up. Maybe, maybe not, but you know, it'll make it less hard the more you add to it. So you do the 64 ounces of that, you drink that, you sip that throughout the day, and then the next one could be the burdock root. So you're drinking that burdock root, and then the next one after that is just water throughout the day. All right? And then you can end your days off with, let's say, basil tea. Okay? Now, if you're doing a hard fast, maybe you're trying to overcome some type of a infection. If you have an infection that you're trying to heal from, then you may want to do herbal teas that have more of an antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal kind of element to them, right? So my go-to with something like that would definitely be that basil. Okay. If you're trying to improve your sleep quality, kidney function, things like that, then you may want to stick to burdock root, or you may want to stick to chamomile. Okay. If you've got, let's say, some kidney issues, you're trying to improve your kidney health, you may want to do nettle tea or parsley. You want to do that. So definitely you can lean into those herbs. You may want to do roasted dandelion root for kidney and liver health. Right? If you're trying to overcome kidney damage. Right? So if you have kidney issues, you may not want to go, so you may want to have more of a hard fast instead of a soft fast. Right? So you may want to do like milk thistle tea. You may want to do burdock root. You may want to do basil, or some people call it tulsi. Right? So for example, holy basil or sweet basil, right? This type of thing. There's different types of basil. Okay. But you may want to do those. And the parsley also. That can be a good one there too. And that would be pretty much what you would go through in a hard fast. Hard fast is really simple because you're not really using much. Right? Soft fast is a bit more intricate because of all the things that you could, adding electrolytes and different amino acids and that type of thing. Okay. So I want to talk about the 3-day rolling fast. All right, let me touch on that right quick. Because a 3-day rolling fast, like a 72-hour fast, can be phenomenal. However, if you're not used to it or you don't really have the experience with it, it can be rough because that electrolyte issue. Okay, you don't want to drop your electrolytes too low. That's real dangerous because the low electrolytes could drop your blood pressure too low. Your body can hyper respond, causing really jacking up your blood pressure and send it up sky high, cause you to have all type of headaches and things like that. You can have anxiety, be bedridden. There could just be some gnarly stuff. So you may want to do, let's say your first day to your first day and a half is more of a soft fast. And then once you're past the hump, let's say after the second day, maybe the third day can be more of a hard fast. Okay. And the reason why is, so basically it's easier on the front and then more challenging on the back end. And the reason why is because if it's more challenging on the back end, if you hit the wall during the hard fast, you try to save it by softening up the fast, it may be a bit too late. All right. So you can start with a hard fast, and then if you run into issues, you can soften it up a little bit on the second day or towards the end of the first day, and then harden the fast back up in the third day. You could do that, right? So you can kind of undulate it a little bit. But the thing is that if the electrolytes drop too low, the headaches set in, you start having the blood pressure issues, things like that, it'd be hard to save it because you're already in. It may take a while for the headaches and stuff to go away. And then, you know, look, if you're doing 3 days, you don't have 3 days off from work, you got to perform, you know, you feel like you got to eat something. It's just a lot in your head. You don't want your fast to be this psychologically traumatizing thing. You don't really want that. Maybe you do, I don't know. But for me, just my personal, you know, there's a difference between something being challenging and then something just being torturous, right? I don't think it's ever a good idea to do like a fast that's like torturous, okay? At least in my personal opinion. Some people may disagree with me on that. I'm like, well, I don't know. Right? I like to play it safe, right? Safety first. So that's why I say to soften it up, and then, you know, it can, as you get deeper, it can get a little bit harder. Now, if you do a rolling fast, what are you using it for? You can do a 3-day rolling fast, and it's like a thing that you do maybe once or twice a year as like a maintenance thing. Or you can be doing it because you're like, let's say you're trying to really cut down belly fat. This is like your aggressive approach to torching body fat. Well, if you're going to do it, you're going to need more than one. So maybe you want to run alternating 3-day rolling fasts. 3 days fasting, 4 days eating. 3 days fasting, 4 days eating. 3 days fasting, 4 days eating. And you may want to run that for 8 weeks. All right? You run that strategy for 8 weeks, drop a ton of weight. It's intense. It's very effective. Right? However, if you're going to do it, you get to do it once. So if you lose the weight, whatever weight you lost, right, whatever weight and body fat you dropped doing that strategy, you better maintain your successes. When you start eating again, some of the pounds will come back. Don't freak out because you're just getting rehydrated. Whatever weight that comes back really quickly is just rehydration. It's just glycogen stores being full. However, you know, you shouldn't be gaining back like 10 pounds or whatever. That's too much. But gaining like, you know, 3, 4, maybe even 6 pounds, that's, I wouldn't worry too much about that. But after 6, it's kind of pushing it. You shouldn't gain that much back. All right. So the cutoff point would be like 4. Maybe a 2 pounds sneak in, you get 6 extra pounds added back on. But it depends on how much you lost. You do that 3-day rolling fast, you could have dropped like 20 pounds during that. Maybe even more. Right? You can drop a lot of weight doing that, especially if you run a strategy like that for 8 weeks. It's intense, but very effective. However, what I would suggest, all right, and if you're going to do a fast and you want to get more autophagy during your fast, let's say you're doing a soft fast, but you still want the autophagy to set in. You can actually do a soft fast and still get into autophagy during a soft fast. The way that you do that is by staying active during the fast. So you're walking in those miles. So one way you can do this is, let's say you walk 3 miles twice a day. You do your daily mobility, you take mobility breaks, you're doing mobility exercises throughout the day. You're not doing anything intense, you're just keeping your body active. Right? You're going for walks. Because you go for a walk, walking the miles will empty whatever glycogen is stored in your liver. And when you empty the glycogen stores in your liver, glycogen is basically how your body stores glucose inside your cells. So your body metabolizes fat. The fat can go into your cells, fills your liver back up, and then your liver then empties back out as it deploys more glucose to your cells. Right? So whatever blood sugar is in your blood, it'll prioritize going to your liver and then everywhere else. So if you reduce liver glycogen, your body will prioritize that by metabolizing fat to maintain a certain level of glycogen inside your liver, right? Your liver makes glucose, right? It's one of the things your liver does, right? And it has all these hormonal effects to ramp up something called lipolysis, which is fat metabolism. So when you're active and you're cutting through the glycogen stores in your liver and you're getting your liver to create more glucose, well, this is the key to how you can really leverage fasting to drop body fat. And exercise is one of the ways to induce autophagy, right? Sprinting, high intensity resistance training, these types of things, very demanding activities, they throw you into autophagy. However, if you're already in a fast, your blood sugar is already fairly low, and then you go for a walk, that's enough to throw you into autophagy. Throw you in is probably a harsh term, right? Slide you in, shift you into autophagy. I'll use that language. All right. But it depends, the effectiveness of it, it depends on how insulin resistant or how insulin sensitive you are. It depends on how your adrenal glands function. It depends on thyroid health. It depends on a lot of different things. So results may vary, but that's what to expect. That sun went down quick, huh? All right. Let me answer some questions here. What about coconut water for electrolytes during fasting? The coconut water, it'll break your fast. It's got some glucose in there that hits your bloodstream. That can break your fast. Coconut water will soften up your fast. All right. If you're really insulin sensitive, it may not really. You can maintain a fast with coconut water. If you're really insulin sensitive and you want to do more of a soft fast. But it will break a hard fast. Is watermelon juice blended, not juiced, or spinach juice useful in a fast of any kind of way? Watermelon juice will break your fast. Blended spinach, yep, that'll break your fast. All right, let's see. Do those ingredients in the water break fast and stop autophagy? The ones that I mentioned for the for the soft fast? No. No. Let's see. I've been listening to functional doctors saying that if you're overactive, you need selenium and not iodine. I do Brazil nuts daily. Yeah, Brazil nuts are a good idea. Sheila coming through with the knowledge. What do we say? Let's see. What? Jasmine nutritional yeast with B12 is awesome. True. Miss D. Miss D, good to see you. That's right. I got you on the schedule for tomorrow morning, so we're gonna check in tomorrow morning. But you said, what do we do if fasting causes issues like me, but fast do we try? Yeah, a soft fast, I think, would be the most beneficial thing for you. And we'd need to really soften up your fast, at least at the beginning, and then you get adapted over time. Right? But the thing that's been yielding really good results for you is, of course, being well fed. So I think you'd have to start from a position of being well fed first, and then engage in a soft fast. All right. I think with your fasting that you did before previously, was not having the electrolytes possibly. But we can go over that a bit more tomorrow. All right. And then also, I think with the vitamin D, we can up the vitamin D dosage. I think we'd probably really need to do that, especially for you, right? We need to really focus on driving down inflammation. All right. What do you recommend for vitamin B12 foods? Oh yeah, somebody mentioned it. Yep, B12. You can do liquid B complex. You can do Floravital, which has iron. It's like food-based iron. You can do nutritional yeast. And you can do plant-based milk that's fortified with B12. So it is a few options. Fat doggo. Let's see. Make sure you're not iodine deficient. Make sure to use iodine salt on your cooking, and you're good. Well, it depends, because you can get iodine from tender leafy green vegetables and things like potatoes and seaweed. But yeah, the selenium thing, I think that's an important thing to do, is the selenium. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Thoughts on juice fasting. Can you maintain lean body mass on a long-term juice fast? Yes, you can, as long as you're getting enough juice in. So if you're going to be doing a juice fast, but then you're just juicing a bunch of like leafy green vegetables and stuff, you're not getting in the glucose that's needed in order to, maintain the muscle mass, then not really. The thing about a juice fast long term is that you're not really getting in the amino acids needed in order to build muscle mass. So depending on how you're training, if your training is a little too aggressive, you could be losing muscle the longer the fast goes on. So it depends on how long the fast is. It depends on what you're juicing. And also how well you're sleeping. So there's a few things that it depends on, right? If you're going to do a long-term juice fast, I think that you should train, but your training session should be relatively short, right? And the more intense the training session is, the shorter the duration should be. But of course, high training intensity, you're going to get some muscle damage. And to repair from muscle damage, you're gonna need a certain amino acids. All right. So, if you really prioritize muscle mass, you may want to throw a protein smoothie in with the juice fast. Let's see. Are fruit sugars bad for hyperthyroidism? I've been going through some sickness lately from overactive thyroid. I'm learning that everything I eat makes me feel ill. Yeah, so a lot of the times with hyperthyroid issues, the common denominator is low vitamin D. All right. So that's more than likely what the issue is. So, are you supplementing with vitamin D? If so, how much? You should be doing at least 5,000 IUs. Because usually when people have thyroid disruptions, it's usually because of a vitamin D deficiency or chronically low electrolytes. All right. That's right, folks. Don't forget, like the stream if you like the stream. Well, you said what kind of zinc supplement? There's a lot of... so zinc picolinate. Zinc picolinate. All right. Let me let my questions load up here. What about juiced spinach? Yeah, that could break your fast. It'll definitely soften it up. That's for sure. And then also fiber. Well, I don't know, because if you're juicing spinach, you're not really going to get fiber from it. You're not really getting much glucose from spinach, so it may not really impact your fast that much. But it will soften it, though, because of the antioxidant and mineral content of it. All right, so it can soften it. It may not necessarily break your fast. Depends on how much spinach you're juicing. But it can soften it, though. My zinc is at 6 grams per day. I need 3 more grams of zinc. What kind of zinc supplement might be useful? I see over 10 different kinds of zinc. Yeah, so zinc picolinate typically is the one that I go with. All right, zinc picolinate and anywhere from like 15 to 30 milligrams per day. Zinc is amazing. Also, zinc is really important for hair growth and preventing hair shedding. So if you're dealing with hair shedding issues, it may be a good idea to supplement with zinc. Okay. Zinc is the substrate for keratin. All right, so that's needed to grow your hair. All right, so if you got low keratin, that can cause hair shedding. All right. So I think that pretty much covers it tonight. And you know what? Look, I got to give myself a little bit of a pat on the back. I'm not going to hold y'all up all night tonight. For real. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm on schedule. We're keeping it tight tonight. Got to all y'all questions and everything like that. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover tonight. If you need additional help, looking for coaching, diet plan, fasting plan, training plan, or just want to get on a call, talk out your issues, get some more information, hit the link in the description of this video, book a call with me. Let's talk. You got to pick your day and time, get yourself on the schedule. We'll talk soon. All right. And then I got the 12-week mentorship. So in the 12-week mentorship, we do one-on-one calls on a weekly basis. You get access to my high raw vegan nutrition guide, fasting strategies, self-development video series, training plans, live stream replays. Tier 2, you get a personal diet plan. Tier 3, you get diet plan and training plan. All right, 12 weeks. So that is also in the link in the description below. And if you want to know what matcha I use, what glutamine I use, what magnesiums I use, zinc, all of that is in the Tribe shop, which I've also linked in the description of this video. So all that is in there. So if you're like, hey, what zinc should I get? It's in there. What magnesium? It's in there. Matcha, it's in there. Liquid chlorophyll, it's in there. All of it's in the Tribe shop. Those are the ones that I use personally. All right, y'all. So having said that, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Get to bed at a decent time. Okay, which I've been trying to do today. I'm proud of myself. This is the last thing I'm going to say. And I tell people always count your wins and congratulate yourself when it's due. I've been doing a really good job of getting to bed at a decent time. So I got a little pat on the back there. So now the next thing I need to do is sort out my streaming schedule so I can do streams like this more frequently. All right. So having said that, everybody have a good night. Get to sleep at a decent time. Get your herbs in. And I'll catch you on the next one.